Yes, ChatGPT is having babies. A lot of them. And every baby is having a baby. Basically, they're cloning themselves and multiplying themselves. What does that really mean? We have two new AIs that are going crazy. Basically, it's Auto GPT and BabyAGI. AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence, basically close to human intelligence. And then comes the Artificial Superintelligence, which is ASI, which would supersede our own intelligence. But in any case, is it really AGI? Not really, but it's definitely a step in the good direction. What does this Auto GPT actually do? Why is it so good? Why is everybody talking about it? Why is it so helpful? It allows the AI to create multiple tasks, send them down the chain to other AIs to each do a single task. And when every single one does its own task, it can focus better on doing its task and then sends the next task to a next instance of ChatGPT. And that AI then does its task and sends the task down the line. The important thing here is that it creates like a giant network of AIs. The reason why we think it's an evolutionary step is because what it's effectively doing is creating its own memory. So ChatGPT had this issue or has this issue where it can never remember correctly or at all sometimes the prior steps or the prior context that it was talking about. So when something gets a bit long or has multiple facets to it or multiple questions within it, it gets lost. It can't keep track of what it said earlier, so it becomes repetitive and nonsensical very often. In this case, since each task is sent to another instance and then the other instance sends it to another instance, it's able to split up tasks into multiple small components, and each component is done much better because it's only focused on this small component. What it then does effectively is it creates this network, creates like a giant brain of cells. So you got these multiple brain cells that communicate with each other, and the result of that is a memory. So we have this kind of continuum where every single instance is passing down information, and every instance that's down the line can go back up and check information. So therefore we've created a memory for this AI. And with memory comes a lot of things we can do. For example, we have this guy who was able to get Auto GPT to order him a pizza and then sends each task to a different Auto GPT that only does that one task. And it's able to imitate human behavior and logging into searching for the best pizza, logging into the website, adding all the toppings, the address, and all your information, and then checking out. And every single step of the way, it's a different instance of ChatGPT doing its own task while checking the tasks before it. But one such app that you can use or website that has this AI, this Auto GPT sort of AI with the agents, is called God Mode. And we're going to try God Mode right now. I've asked God Mode, what were the chances of a civilization existing prior to the Ice Age? Shout out to Graham Hancock. What God Mode's going to do, or what the AI is going to do here, is split the tasks and send every single instance of its AI to go look for the specific task. And one of them would be to determine what are the potentials of a civilization existing before the Ice Age. Then a second one would be, as you can see them listed here, then the second one would be analyzing geological and historical information, searching the Ice Age timeline, and so on and so forth. And at every step of the way, it's going to pause and ask you if you have any input, just in case you want to gear it towards a better result. Maybe it's going in a way that you weren't expecting or that you're not looking for. Perhaps there's a specific kind of information that you're looking for, and if you see it deviating a little bit, you can always add input at every step of the way, approve the step it took because it gives you the reasoning, and then continue on down. And as you see here, what we were talking a second ago is that it keeps track of everything correctly. Whereas if you try this with ChatGPT, it's going to be all over the place. So this is a huge improvement in my opinion. It's going to make a lot of changes. These small changes, seemingly small changes, can be huge changes. And this is a lot like us, actually, when you think about it. Because what makes us human? What makes our brain able to function? What creates an identity? An identity is created by memory, or memory is the basis for an identity. Because if we didn't have memory, then all our brain function will be useless. You could ask me one question and I couldn't even give you the answer, actually, because I wouldn't remember how to do the calculation, or I wouldn't remember the information I'm supposed to give you if I had no memory at all. So as you see, memory is vital, quite literally. You as a person are a long string or chain of memories linked together from birth to today. And all these memories are creating a whole that's you, your mind, how it functions, your beliefs, Everything is linked to those memories that you have that created who you are today. BabyAGI and Auto GPT be able to remember their past actions creates a sort of personality within, a sort of human-like reasoning. The developments that are come from here are going to be quite exponential and quite interesting. Besides this, the big innovation in ChatGPT is going to be, as you've probably seen them this past week, the plugins. What those are going to do is allow ChatGPT to use a certain plugin to get a certain type of information that you want. There's going to be plugins for different websites, plugins for different softwares where it can pull specific information for you. The way I see it is it's going to become like an app store. As far as we're concerned, the users, the focus is going to start being on the apps that are built on top of them. ChatGPT is effectively becoming a platform, and the apps are going to be basically what we interact with. Another fantastic application for Auto GPT and agents, as they call them, is gaming, of course. And you probably saw this. This is a mini game that they made where each NPC has its own personality. So each NPC is like an Auto GPT of its own, and each one develops a memory, just as we spoke about, with things it does within the game. So it starts creating its own personality, its own likes and dislikes, first at random, and then it consolidates those as the game goes. It checks back with its memory all the time to see what it does like, what it doesn't like. Pretty much this is how we evolve as humans. So I can imagine the next generation of games right around the corner where your NPCs are going to be free. You're going to feel like you're playing with a friend. They will remember you every time you log in. You might even be able to speak to them with your microphone. Just imagine how exciting and how real these NPCs are going to feel within the game. And it's going to feel horrible killing any one of them. I'm telling you right now, because you're going to feel like you're actually shooting someone. Both exciting and scary at the same time, but I can't wait to see it implemented in games. Another quite interesting thing is photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is basically like stable diffusion, but for 3D object. And as you can see here, it's like a diffusion type of technique, and it'll create a 3D object, be it a chair, a dragon, anything you'd like. And it'll be another thing that might be used in video games by video game developers to create quick items for within their games. That's going to make game development so much easier, and it's going to put a lot of the development in the hands of users, because we'll be able to create our own items that we want to use within a game, and perhaps even distribute those items, as in sell those items, because as we know and as we discuss on this channel, we like to discuss about blockchain tech along with AI tech. And once these digital items are turned into NFTs, are minted, then you could sell those. So you could create a certain item like that chair, for example, put that on a store where it's mintable, where people can mint it and add it to their games, to any of their games. All these games will eventually merge in a sense where a lot of the items will be shareable across multiple games. Concept is very exciting. You'll also be able to upload an image or draw an image and upload it to the AI, and the AI will attempt to create a 3D object out of it. Speaking of objects, another really cool tool is by Facebook, that is Meta. They created an AI called SAM, which is Segment Anything Model. It'll take any video or image that you upload to it, and it'll segment every single item that's in there and separate them. So you take a video of a room or a kitchen, it'll recognize every single object in that kitchen, and it'll separate them from the video, separate them as independent images. First, it'll recognize everything in that image and categorize them, and then you'll be able to recreate those items in a 3D object. It's really incredible. And the use cases are really vast, from 3D printing objects that you found in a video to, again, having them in games, and the list goes on. And not only that, but look at this. Meta AI will be able to animate your drawing. It's going to be able to recognize, retrieve a drawing that you made, give it full motion, and make it copy your motions, as you can see in this example. How cool is that gonna be? Oh, and maybe you've had enough chatting with your friends and your family, and you feel like having a more interesting chat. You could always chat with ChatGPT on your WhatsApp. That's right. You can actually add for free WhatsApp chatbots that you can communicate with as if you're talking to a friend, where you can ask them anything, and then you could be much smarter when you're talking to your friends and your family, and you yourself could be much more interested. You should try them. Among them are ChatGPT AI, WhatGPT, BuddyGPT, Schmooze, MobileGPT, and so on. I will again leave you the whole list in the description. And until next time, I will see you soon. I got some really good stuff coming up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as they always say. See ya.